Previously in X-Men. Over the last year, the team has begun to hit stride and come together, members old and new. They've battled the bolstered roster of Freedom Force, the cybernetic Reavers, and the alien Brood. While the X-Men have repositioned themselves as an invisible global strike force that still serves the light of Xavier's dream, a reality exists for mutantdom in the dark corners of the world that, while echoes our own history, is still beyond imagination. I am Jason Lapidus.
And I'm Chris Sanigan.
And we are Group of Seven Comics. Welcome to episode 173 of our ongoing live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic as we read Uncanny X-Men 235 by Chris Claremont, Rick Leonardi, and P. Craig Russell, cover date of early October 1988. Christopher, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Keeping cool here. I see some folks already saying the same, trying to do the same in the chat. Yeah, so it is warm this part of the world, certainly right now, southwestern Ontario. But relief, I think, is coming in a day and a half or 2 days or something.
Sure. I got to admit, I'm pretty edgy. I'm on edge. The heat has gotten to me. I, for some reason, was barbecuing tonight. You know, because that's definitely in the plans. Yeah,
so you're a glutton for punishment.
I'm something. I'm a little feisty, a little edgy tonight, but hope everyone out there is doing well. Let's just say hey quickly to Michael in the chat. Hope you are also staying cool. Mass, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. I'm looking forward to watching that upcoming episode of By the Wayside. I saw a little clip that you had an episode coming up, which is exciting. Allie, hope you're well as well. And you guys are awesome for being here on such a beautiful evening. So there you go. What did I want? Oh, I know what I need to talk about with you. Let's talk about the next thing on the agenda, which is basically everyone out there, please click like on the video, subscribe to the channel, share if you can. It goes a long way to helping us reach 500 followers on their subscribers on the YouTube channel. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We're getting these episodes out to you. Lots more on their way. So anything you can do to support is really, really helpful to get our name and channel out to more interested parties. That would be a lot of fun. As well, I want to plug our latest book, Peregrines, Flights, Fiends, and Fisticuffs. And Chris, you wrote the book, and I drew the book, and now it's a book. And we're really happy that it's in hand. We've got copies getting laid out and signed and getting sent to various backers of the crowdfunding campaign and stores that have supported as well. I know that there was a big delivery this week. Thank you to you again for doing that, Chris. I'm delivering some more books tomorrow. So it's getting out there to readers and looking forward to putting the books in the hands. If you're looking to get a copy and you did not back the crowdfunder, no worries, babies. No worries.
We got you.
You can find it, of course, at groupofsevencomics.ca. Of course, it's the number 7. And all of our products are now up for sale on that site, on our site. And we're happy to get that book into people's hands and pick up a few other things while you're there, like a copy of, I don't know, Group of 7 and a Secret Tale. I mean, hey,
why not?
They make a beautiful pair. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. And we got you like digital comics? We got those too. We got digital copies of our comics, including this one. So, hey, we are here for you. And thanks again to those in the chat. Order the book. It's on its way. Okay? It'll get to you soon.
Let's not jump ahead to next week. Let's talk about upcoming appearances. This weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Gotham Central Summer Bash in Mississauga, Ontario. I will be there both days. Chris, I think you're coming Saturday?
Planning to. Yep.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have barbecue again.
Yeah.
And we're going to, along with 40 other comic creators. And
it's a lot.
It's going to be a summer bash. And there'll be live wrestling. I believe Brampton Batman is coming.
1 second.
Okay, so we have many cities in the Greater Toronto area. One of them called Brampton, and there is a Batman who patrols Brampton and has a replica 1989 Batman. So, he attended last year. I remember seeing his car in the parking lot. I got to say though, it's so low to the ground, like that. Whatever it's fiberglass frame or whatever it's made out of, that frame is so low to the ground that if the parking lot isn't perfectly level, it doesn't exactly play well. So you know he has to be really careful. He drives it really slow, which is a tiny bit anticlimactic for a Batman purist like me that just wants to hear that engine roar and the Tim Burton theme. The Danny Elfman theme from the Tim Burton movie as Batman descends into the Batcave as he's going through that road with Vicky Vale in the passenger seat. Brampton Batman's Batmobile is cool to see when it's standing still. When it drives, it's a little.
Are you saying that when like pulls up to a stoplight and then just like indicates, it like kind of loses some of the Batmobile-ness? It's just following like road safety?
No, it's that if there's any kind of variation in the road conditions, he has to come to like a really like complete stop or go around bumps because there isn't any room under that shell. So it's kind of funny to see, but amazing nonetheless. Gotham Central, Mississauga, Saturday and Sunday will be there. Further into the summer, I know on Canada Day, I'm going to be at Wayside, which is, for those who don't know, July 1st. Tuesday, July 1st is Canada Day, and I'll be at Wayside Comics and Cocktails in beautiful Newmarket, Ontario, as part of the street fair, street sale kind of thing. So that will be really cool to put the most Canadian, or I should say the most Canadiana comic or comics in the hands of people celebrating Canada on Canada Day. I'm looking forward to that. Then at the end of August, I forget the dates, but come on out there. You all know.
I've got it right here. 21st to 24th.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at
Fan Expo?
Look at a wall calendar.
Amazing. Fan Expo Canada. We will be there Thursday through Sunday, all 4 days. I know you'll be there Thursday, Friday. I'll be there Thursday through Sunday. So we, as a unit, will be there all 4 days at Fan Expo Canada, like the largest fan event in Canada and one of the largest on the continent. It's an amazing one. So we'll be there. The word on the street is September
27th, maybe?
Oh, okay. Then before that, 12 Comics Jam.
Yeah, 13th.
September 13th. It's a Saturday. We'll be there. And then word on the street at the end of the month. Man, we've got a busy bunch of events coming up.
We do.
That is a lot of comics. We know maybe we should just slow down. I'm getting sleepy.
Hey, I mean, well then maybe, I mean, you know, often it's you who wants to do lots of these shows.
Oh no, it's my foot is on the gas all the time.
I love the shows too.
I know you do. I know.
Yeah.
I'm always like every show
all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Go. I love it. For whatever reason. It is busy to talk about, but I do love it. So
it is fun.
I love it. I gotta live with it too, right? There's the good side to that, and I don't need to go back to this. Do you want to talk comics? You want to get into X-Men? Or anything else you want to talk about first?
Is there anything to talk about? Beyond comics?
The world, but we're not gonna, comics. Let's talk about X-Men.
The world is a tire fire.
Let's talk about like the Genosha of it all, maybe after.
Okay.
There's some references to connect to outside of this series up to this point. But maybe let's just talk about the status quo for a moment. I mentioned in the preamble about them being repositioned. And I'm thinking always about like the years and what's coming up. And the team going from being this school and how it really does feel like now they are a different thing.
Yeah.
Like the school has left the book. It's no longer part of it.
Yeah.
The mutants have the school. X Factor has some sort of like recruitment facility where they're doing something, but they are now like a global strike force.
Yeah.
and it is a complete rebranding. You and I talked a little while ago about maybe this would have been the start of a new series. Like this should have been the come up with a different adjective, like
the absurd X-Men.
Sure. That would have been the Mojo series, right?
Yes.
But this idea of maybe leaving Uncanny to whatever has the school, or I don't know, but it feels like it really does feel like a new series in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's a departure, right? It's a departure.
You know, we've got those 3 new members with Psylocke, Havoc, 4 new members: Psylocke, Havoc, Dazzler, and Longshot. I know Havoc was a member back in the late 60s, but come on. It's not connected to Claremont in any way.
No.
So that group of 4, then there's like the veteran group of 4 with Rogue, Colossus, Wolverine, and Storm. And great having Colossus back. You know, that we talked about that profile that it gives the group when you're drawn by these kind of famous 90s creators like Silvestri and eventually Jim Lee. We're going to get that, and when Arthur Adams does them too. That big character, you've got your springy acrobatic character, you have a couple of like shapely female characters, they've got the jackets, the big hair. It starting to feel like really a 90s book in so many ways, and that idea of how many of those Image books were like a strike force. That Image Wave 1,
I think they all were.
Well, Spawn, no, obviously.
Wildcat
Spawn wasn't, Savage Dragon wasn't,
no,
but Youngblood,
Wildcats,
and Cyberforce.
Yeah.
So those 3, Silvestri, Jim Lee, and Liefeld. Those 3 books are like a strike force of some kind with those various sizes. You've got your feral character who's lethal. You've got your femme fatale. You've got your
big
girl
guy
next door. You've got your giant guy. You've got your leaping acrobatic guy. It just feels like all those pieces are kind of there for those 90s teams to extrapolate from this group. Ali says Stormwatch wasn't part of that. Okay, Stormwatch is a bit of a black hole in my reading of comics. I stopped reading a lot in the 90s, and I've only put some pieces back together. So I know how Stormwatch turns into the Authority. I know how they are a Wildstorm title. I don't know how it started. By the time I started read the Authority, it was like the consequences of Stormwatch. I got the impression from that Stormwatch was like S.H.I.E.L.D., like a global S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of maybe in orbit. But I don't know anything about them having like on the ground superpowered characters who are in costumes as opposed to like a more militarized thing. So Ali says, I'm just going to use the word 100 here instead of reading all those zeros. I was 100% into Wildcats and knew very little about Savage Dragon, etc. Yeah, I mean they weren't really connected, right? They connected those Image things.
It's 1,000,000,000%, by the way. Ali is 1,000,000,000%.
Got you. It was a sales gimmick. I mean, it wasn't for creative purposes. It was just to bolster sales of each title, to connect them. But they were really about the individual creators having individual control, and that was part of their fun. And they had all their own studios and their own imprints within Image, and of course all their own publishing deals or licensing deals with toy companies and movie development, all that kind of stuff. So they weren't meant to be a unified universe, but it can work for fun when they want it to. I don't imagine it was like the best thing for Spawn or for Savage Dragon to be bogged down. Like also all those guys want their characters to win all the time. It's like The Rock and Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And Jason Statham, like those guys don't lose fights in movies, right? I think The Rock is contractually obligated, or his opponents are contractually obligated to not beat him. Like it's part of.
It could be a stalemate, but he can't.
Right. Yeah, and he can't like be on the ground more than the other guy or receive more punches than the other guy, unless he's standing to show how tough he is, and then they can get their licks in. But it's intentional, and it's really gotten like it's comedic, right? So. You talked about the absurd X-Men. All to say, you like that?
There it is.
The book is a different book than it used to be. And it's been really neat watching it transform from a prototypical Marvel costume superhero group into something special that Claremont and Byrne and the other creators fashioned, and then now it is really a different thing again. Even though Claremont is still has a hand on the wheel, editorial shift a couple times. Let's see what happens. Want to get into it?
Yes.
All right. I love the cover of this, and I don't exactly know why. Yours looks a little different in color than the digital one that I had access to.
Okay.
Now that I see this, but of course, it looks like I want to just go back and take a look at what I had. The digital version that I came across had all the characters in the foreground, all of those we know to be Genoshan soldiers, right, or magistrates or whatever. They're all in blues. Some of them are turquoise, but all like varying degrees of blue and turquoise. Okay. But on the comic book printed cover, this is really neat. There's even some browns and dark grays. So I don't know if it's better. I don't know which one's better. But there's something about like the foreground characters and their guns and then the X-Men in the background. And all the X-Men poses look weird. Mm-hmm. They're lively. Mm-hmm. But they also look kind of like janky in their joints. Like someone doesn't pose their action figures well. So Leonardi's fun that way. Like his line is lively. His work is really gestural. Like I don't know if he's just very, very time aware, and so he's just moving at a clip and not ever going for perfection. It does not look like he's ever going for perfection. Some of the faces, like long shot, looks like he got super rushed. There was no love put into that. He looks bloated, and
you can't even see Psylocke.
Well, I'm not blaming him for that, and I'm gonna have to show you that image. Let me go back. Sorry, dude. Here we go. Take a look at this.
Okay.
So I went in there. Obviously, I've just added some other guys on the other side in that turquoise color. But I went and found the original line art. And I Frankensteined the parts that were missing, covered up by the X-Men logo. Ah. And I pasted them in around Psylocke, Dazzler, and the dude at the bottom, where the UPC code was. It was put much higher in the comic than where Leonardi had intended it to be. So they cropped the cover in a strange way and cropped out stuff from the bottom and the top to make it fit. So I found the work where Psylocke is, and I pasted it in and recolored it. Because I wanted to see. I wanted to see if I could. And I could, but then anyway. Long story short, moving on. So it is a strange cover in a lot of ways. But there's something about the energy of it that I really love. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Havoc makes sense in it, but there's something kind of fun about them. Like they're kind of running to escape and they freeze for a minute to take a look, and like all these dudes with guns. I like the way they look with the headphones and the ball caps and those sort of non-existent laser blaster type things. I don't know. I like this cover. When I pulled this issue out today, I realized how well read it was. I've looked through it many, many, many times, and for better or for worse. Allie says they were so focused on if they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Totally true. I obviously could use my time differently. I didn't have to make a graphic that had a little bit more, but once I started going, moving on. Okay, you guys are hilarious. I know I'm ridiculous. So there you go.
Okay.
Did you like this cover? I never even got to hear from you.
Yeah, no, I do. It's Leonardi kind of comes in and comes out of this run, right? Or this entire,
Yeah.
He seems to be the fill-in guy. It'll be just, maybe it's a fill-in, maybe it's whatever, however it works from an editorial or administrative perspective. But he shows up and like I like this cover right away. It in the sense that it's got a different style that I think you're right. Maybe is hearkening the '90s a little bit to come. With some of that body language, some of that facial expression, the guys with big guns, you know?
Right. Yeah, the guys, the antagonists
Mm-hmm.
do look way more 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you just also about that cover that even the signature was on the other side. It was cut and paste and put over on the right. It was originally on the left. And yeah, it's just proportionally a little bit different. There's there's a lot more up top. Like there's more content there. He just, I don't know, it was maybe some strange choices. He kind of drew too much in too high on the page, and they had to try and play with it. But man, the original art I found on Pinterest. Well, I found it on Google, and it's on Pinterest. But it looks so cool in black and white, and again, so crisp when it's not colored in, especially with that muddy brown background, which I probably should have taken out when I was redoing it. But
No, that's okay.
I can't go back now, man.
But yes, to answer your question, I did like this cover. Yeah, something about it.
Something about it. But yeah, I read this one a lot. Okay. This is the present. Welcome to Genosha. This is the world. A green and pleasant land of hope and opportunity, where the watchword is freedom.
Run pretty far, huh, baby boy? But not to be scared, almost done. Not far left to go.
A Stan Lee presentation starring the Uncanny X-Men. Chris Claremont writer, Rick Leonardi penciler, P. Craig Russell, also known as PCR, or Peter Craig Russell. Inker, Glynis Oliver on colors, Tom Morzakowski, letterer. Man, that pair have been around like the whole time. Bob Harris still editing, and Tom DeFalco is editor-in-chief.
That's what I mean. Like, you get right away, it's just his different style, and it shows up every 9th issue or whatever, and it's pleasant, and it always, runs contrary, or it's already in the middle. It's always in the middle of like another artist's run, so it always kind of like throws you a bit, but in a pleasant way.
Right.
There, see those lights? For people like us, that's where true freedom lies. Flyers, magistrates, they follow pretty good. Be here pretty fast, but not fast enough. Fooled them, but not for long. Us people, we're not supposed to be in this flyaway place. As soon as I'm spotted, magistrates will be after me again. Don't mind, don't matter. So long as you're safe, baby boy, this big flyer will take you far, far away. To a place where our kind live free, where you'll be happy. I'll miss you, baby boy. Wish I could go too. And I'll try to do the same. I love you, baby boy. Goodbye.
Hey!
Gotta run. Draw everyone away from my baby boy. Flyers. Think you're so tough, you magistrates. Let's see you prove it.
Oh, I think they're going to prove it.
I think it's possible.
Mutant, you are in a prohibited area. Halt immediately and surrender, or we will open fire. Gene Jokes. Sorry, you want to read the second guy?
Sure. Gene Joke's too stupid to understand plain English. Fire warning shot.
He got the message, Air One. He's slowing down. We'll collar him.
Be careful, Ground One. This looks too... Blast! I knew this was too easy. All units, ground and airborne. Shoot to kill!
Skabam! I love that last panel.
That's a great panel. He's got so much like energy in his work. Like, there's a lot of fluidity. I really like it.
Totally. Like the way that he's picking up that truck or that transport, like that body can't stay in that pose. but it reads like the weight of that vehicle really reads in the way he stacked the character together, like the chunky pieces of his legs. It really looks like he poses action figures weird. Like he likes janky poses,
right?
And it is good cartooning, even if some of it gets a little weird when it comes to faces and stuff. I still think the poses are clear and expressive.
Mm-hmm.
Michael says it's reminding me of Corsair strapping Scott and Alex in a parachute. Oh. Yeah, man. I don't know if putting an infant in the back of an airplane is the best way to ensure survival. But if you're desperate, you're desperate, right?
You're desperate. So apparently, so is my dog.
Yeah. Which one?
Just not. I think this is Bijou now. She probably wants to go outside. Just give me a second.
The guy doesn't even know his own dog's names.
I got two.
Come on. Yeah, you're like, I think it's one of my dogs. I think it's this dog. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know his dog's names. Don't let him tell you that he just wasn't sure of which one was barking. That doesn't make sense. It's that he doesn't know his dog's name. That's why he says he thinks it's Bijou. Meaning he thinks the dog's name is Bijou. It could be something else.
It could be Gary.
This guy has no idea who those dogs are.
So
you are, I mean, come on.
So tough sometimes, you know?
Allie says, U2 has a song, Van Diemen's Land. There's a line, but the magistrate sent me away. So I thought it was about Genosha. I was a kid. Also, they did not perform Van Diemen's Land at Red Rock.
It's Tasmania, right? Van Diemen's Land. It's Tasmania.
Well, there you go.
So Genosha is Tasmania. That's cool.
And to add to your shame, Pretorius is here, and he says, I've got two kids, and I know both of their names.
Well, I mean, la-di-da, Dave.
I mean, you might be making up your kids' names right then and there, or your dogs, I should say. Do we actually know? Is one of your dogs even really Bijou, or are you just making that up every time?
I'm making it up.
I don't.
For a second, hold on.
I think it's a con. Dave, I hope you are well. And I don't remember. Are you coming to the Gotham Central thing this weekend? Are you on the list of the amount of ridiculous people attending Gotham Central? I hope you are, but at the same time, given that you've got two kids, and I know they're not very old, I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't coming because it will be a busy weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
For most families. No, it's all good.
It isn't because I have to go let my dog out, but then I have to go double check, make sure my dog doesn't eat some poop. Because it's a Labrador and eats anything under the sun. So there you go. So it's gross, right? When you watch it, like you come on, don't do that. You know?
Yes. Ali says, "Ooh, headcanon accepted. Chris, Genosha is in Australia. Ties.
That's what I'm saying.
Outback hideout.
That's right.
Right. Michael says if my mother got mad enough, she would call us by the dog's name.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, in my house that would be a compliment. Dave says I will not be there. First weekend of the summer break for the kids.
Well, fine then, Dave.
Yeah, me too. I just like comics more than my own family. Don't tell them that.
First weekend of the summer for you to practice knowing your kids' names. Have fun.
All right. Oh, beautiful colors on this page. Like, keep it simple. She is so good at this. Anyway. Ground and air, ring them. Make sure that Gene Joke can't escape. Stay clear of them. We'll use our weapons to finish this from a distance. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're blowing the shit out of that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he's... no, it's not good.
That's awful. He's down, but he's still breathing.
Impossible. We hit him with everything we had.
Gene Engineer breeds his muties tough.
Which is why magistrates are trained to be tougher. Notified security. Central. Mission accomplished. Escape attempt terminated. Baby boy. Both of us. At last. Free.
Very sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen,
But of course, some good cartooning. And I don't love the placement of it, but that, you see that the airplane got off the ground.
It did. And
right? That was the whole mission, was to make sure that it works out so that the airplane goes.
And it's also one of those things where it's and I still don't. We'll get to this later in the book when we get a bit more background, context, information, whatever it is about what's going on. But I mean, they introduce these guys. You're like, what the heck's going on? Magistrates. Right. What the heck is that? Are they mutants? They're not mutants. They've got weapons. They're like army. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got lots of new like slang vocabulary. We have a character called the Gene Engineer.
The Gene Engineer and this Gene joke or Jenna joke. Depending on how you use that.
I like the idea of the magistrates as a name. It automatically, like right away, sounds obviously formal and there's a power issue there, you know.
Yeah, and there's like not judges, which we've seen before.
Sure.
But that there's some kind of judgment.
Yes.
Some kind of judgment.
And obviously they've used the word mutie and they've also used the word gene joke.
Right.
Gene joke is a mouthful, but you know, when you're really, really racist, you don't mind saying things that are that aren't that easy or convenient to say. You're willing to go that extra mile to say something offensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, these people are the worst. Okay.
2 days later, half a world toward the sunrise. We see in the newspaper, by the way, and this is like hand done by I don't know. It could have been that they, put it in simple script and then left it for Orzechowski to do because it's like to his skill set. They could have graded it out for him or penciled it in themselves, whether it was P. Craig Russell or Leonardi. I'm not sure. But it says in the paper, Times of Australia. We have a date here, August 5th, 88. It says shrimp on the bar. No, it says stowaway baby found in jet.
It says Crocodile Dundee 3 canceled.
It does say Marino wins pool.
It's true. I don't know. Maybe there was a swimmer. Is that what that is?
Or is it Dan
Marino, like the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins?
Yes, that's what I think it is. It's right in that time period.
All right. Laces out.
Okay, so we've got a couple of real characters here that we're going to be dealing with once in a while. Do you have a preference as to who you read?
I don't. Do you?
No, but I'll just go for this guy anyway.
Sure.
You've got one with binoculars and might have a mustache. I can't tell yet. We've got this really fit sports gear wearing woman.
Yep.
And we've got this dude who's got the cap on. So I'll do the dude with the cap for now.
Murdoch. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Orders are, when the job's done, we're to collect this Gene Joke baby and return it to home as well. Funny, I thought muties weren't allowed to breed.
Accidents will happen, Pipeline. Mutie has a kid or a government minister has a mutie kid. Wow, bring in the government in. It's all the same.
I suppose. Hawkshaw, this Jennifer Ransom doesn't look like any mutie.
They don't all have horns and tails, doofus.
That's his name, right? Doofus? Okay,
Doofus
I'll be
is his
Doofus.
code name? Yeah.
I'll be Doofus. Codename Doofus. I read her dossier, She's a nice kid. Shame this has to happen.
Give me a break. She's only herself to blame. She knew the law. She knew her duty. But she tried to hide her test results, and she fled the country. How's that supposed to set an example for the rest of her generation, huh? She has no right to shirk her responsibilities, especially because of her privileged position. Can the chatter punch out? There's our pigeon.
So we've got Punch Out, Doofus, Pipeline. We got Punch Out, Pipeline.
Lay in pipe.
Right. And does this guy, the boss dude, sort of have a name yet?
Hawkshaw is one.
Hawkshaw, thank you.
Hawkshaw.
So Hawkshaw, Pipeline, and Punch Out. Okay. Do you have a code name, by the way?
Do I have one?
Yeah.
No. Do you? I Jeez, dogs. Does the dog have a code name?
Your
Poop eater.
code
Poop
name.
eater.
Your code name is Pooper Scooper.
Pooper, that's definitely when I can get to it before the dogs eat it. Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So disgusting, but it is a bit of a race. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, now I want to say, by the way, now's where the pigeons coming in. I have a hunch that Jenny here. Do you think she's Australian?
Yeah. She's like local. Like, I think, right?
Okay, she's yours.
All right. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
There's the field. I really appreciate you filling in for my regular pilot, Madeline. We need the help. What with so many laid up by the flu?
My pleasure, Jenny. It's why I joined the service auxiliary. Okay, we got to stop right there.
Okay.
Madeline joined the service auxiliary.
Yep.
Flying doctor service or
Yep.
whatever it is. Did she use like her ID? Because isn't she dead?
Is it? Wasn't she dead in the last issue?
Well, she's dead by everyone. I mean that like the world thinks she's dead.
Right.
I don't mean that.
Maybe she like fake ID because like she has access to all that like Reaver tech.
Okay, so then that means this person is not an old friend. She's just using her fake ID to be Madeline Schreier,
Yeah.
American pilot.
Yep.
With no references that they can ever call, unless all those references go right back to the tech, and they can like fake that. They are her reference.
Would it be great if all that Reaver's tech, the thing they did with it was make a fake ID?
Yeah, and like basically pull the same prank they pulled on Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You got it.
Where they call
You're Abe Froman. This is
Abe Froman, Sausage King. Exactly.
Oh, great movie.
Let's see. I think this is still. Oh no, this is you. Maybe.
I think. Pretty fancy jit. Wonder why we were called.
That's not Australian, but whatever.
When they could have flown any casualties out themselves.
Interesting.
I get a reading from the girl, but none at all from the redhead.
You mean she isn't a mutant?
Nope. I mean I get nothing. Nada. Zippo. Zilch. Zero. Absolutely nothing. My eyes see her, but as far as my special senses are concerned, she doesn't exist.
So we're getting a sense of his power set, which is interesting. And I also love that trope of when there is nothing, nada, zilch, zero. Like writers just can't help but just say, I get nothing. They have to do at least 3.
Sweet Fanny.
I got bupkis. Goose eggs.
You understand me, kid?
Nil. they have to go through all these. Yeah, donuts. They just keep doing it. And it's so funny.
Hi, I'm Miss Ransom. Where's the patient?
Sorry, miss. But I'm afraid you were summoned under false pretenses.
No!
We're the press gang, Jenny Ransom, from Genosha, and we've come to take you home.
So messed up kind of lettering word balloons because you kind of want to read and we've come to take you home before you read We're the press gang.
No!
And when does no fit in? It's fine. It all makes sense in any order, I guess, except for the and we've come to take you home being last. Has to be last.
Of course.
But odd.
We want no trouble from you, miss. Ah!
In that case, chum, you're out of luck. Sand in his eyes should slow him down.
Well, the old sand in the eyes trick, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you see her pick that up, by the way?
I'm totally okay with it happening between panels.
Like she has it in her pocket? Maybe it's just like a natural thing. It's like pepper spray. It's sand in the pocket.
Well, I do like that automatically, whatever his name is, Hawkshaw is taking a step toward her in the panel before. Her weight is shifted as she's about to get moving. And you don't need to know how many steps she takes to get that far between her and Punch-Out.
Yeah.
But along the way, she picks up some sand and puts it in his eyes. I don't need more than one panel for that. I'm cool.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm cool. But you know what?
You know what?
It's a valid point, but
Yeah.
it's a choice.
Good cartooning when you see her in 3 panels earlier, like bend over, take the sand up. There's a hot cartooning tip for you.
Yeah. Good idea. No time to fly, but I can get at least the radio working. Ooh, this is where the movie comes from. Rogue One, Mayday.
First appearance, the key issue.
First appearance of Rogue One, right
First
here.
appearance.
The plane. What's happening?
We tried to play nice, Missy. We don't want to hurt anybody. But some foolish people just won't give us any choice.
Yow! It'd be hilarious if in that moment when she like chucks the plane, Maddie turns the propellers on
Oh,
and it flies away.
it was so awesome.
She's like, thank you. Engines are hot. Sorry, engines are hot.
They're hot.
Engines are hot. Real hot. Engines are hot. Fuel cans ruptured. Can already smell the gas. Gotta go. Won't take much to start a fire, set off and explode. That's nice. That's good. That's a good last panel.
It is
too.
good. I like it.
You get the sense like she's scraping off that ground, bouncing off. She's gonna be picking some dirt out of them wounds.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that thing got blown up.
Inside, pilot. You can't do this. I'm a naturalized Australian citizen. You have no right. Who's to stop us?
You know the law, miss. Genosha acknowledges no other citizenship but its own. Whatever you claim Genoshan by birth means Genoshan for life. Fact is, your country needs you. And you're going to do your duty, whether you like it or not. Clear signal established. Tippy-tappy-tippy-tappy. Pipelines open. Ready to digitize subject.
Oh.
And transmit. We got like a little matrix thing kind of going on
We
here.
do.
Where he's using the computer terminal.
But he's also got a mutant power.
Yeah. And so he is digitizing the subject with probably his powers, as we can kind of see. And transmitting her signal. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And looks like she went naked because of
right. So are we just to infer that just the clothes can't transfer just the body?
Yes,
Gotcha.
that he can digitize bodies, but not clothes. So that always makes me wonder about things like implants. And by that, I don't mean anything
Right.
crass, but like, let's just say cybernetics or a pacemaker or, a metal hip.
Right.
Or, in maybe more relevant for our beloved X-Men, Wolverine's adamantium-laced bones.
Wow.
What happens there?
What happens?
Right? Okay, moving on.
Yes, we'll find out. All right.
Confirmation. She arrived safe and sound. What did you do? Reduced her to binary electronic impulses. Then sent her, same as I would any data file, across my phone link to Genosha. Same as I'm going to do with you.
Ooh.
All right, I got to stop it right there.
Okay.
I want you to imagine the phone link,
Yeah.
dial up,
Yeah.
that modem noise,
Beep.
or the dial up when you get on the old internet.
Oh yeah.
Like how slow it would be if they all have to sit there.
Mhm.
and
Get
like
off
try
the
to-
phone. Someone be on the
Yeah.
phone. Oh yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
Totally. It's pretty funny actually.
Different costume kind of for Rogue again.
Again, they just
Like they don't really have consensus.
they can't land it or like comfort, I guess.
I will say that this is my preferred palette for her. Is like green and light green,
Yes.
as opposed to green and black, or green and yellow, which she steals, in my opinion, her branding from Marvel Girl / Phoenix.
Right.
Like Jean Grey's branding. I wish they had always kept this for her because it's what she's had since the beginning. She is 2 shades of green, and that's her
Right.
go-to. But Jim Lee has something else to say about that, sir.
That's right. Get ready.
That way he's got to ruin Jean Grey's costume by making her blue and orange, because, you know, Jean Grey, blue and orange. All right, moving on. A little later, not the most subtle entrance, as a sonic boom heralds Rogue's arrival. In the blink of an eye, she crosses the distance between horizon and airstrip. She doesn't like what she finds.
Psylocke, you hear what I'm thinking?
As well as I can, given your natural resistance to my telepathic powers.
I found Madeline's Beechcraft. Hope y'all can see its image in my mind's eye and get a fix on my position.
Both done. Gateway is teleporting Storm and Wolverine to your location.
So I notice.
Like, Storm's pose is awesome. Wolverine's is weird. Something in his head.
Yeah. But I do like the idea, and I guess maybe this is something that's, you know, other teleporters they'll do the X-Men, you know. And, you know, it was a lot of fun to watch on screen in X-Men Days of Future Past with Blink, I guess, is people just kind of falling out of the sky, being teleported to different places.
Yes, and having those teleporting, the portals at angles that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Yeah. I like how clearly Leonardi does not really have a grasp of Gateway.
Mm-hmm.
He's got, like, you know, maybe a headband on.
Yeah.
And a shirt.
Yeah.
And you really can't tell that he's kind of this older, stone-faced, silent figure. He looks like just like a dude, you know, like, I don't know, throwing a pen at them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to know the shorthand. But I love that Storm's wearing some kind of Outback cut off, you know, it's whatever she's got to do. And Wolverine as well. I like him with his, like, in the cowboy hat and the gloves and some sort of alternative gear. He's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Matters to You says, I agree. They always choose color coordination as opposed to a costume for Rogue. I always dug it when they made her more unique. Yes, me too. I figure with someone like her, because she's such a bruiser, like, she's ripping her outfits up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so keep changing it.
Hang loose, sugar. We'll let y'all know as soon as we learn something.
There was a crash here. Oh yeah, Wolverine? Your ultra-keen sentences tell you that one, bud? There was a crash here, all right. But nobody died in it. No bodies. Not even the barest residual scent of burnt flesh. Tire tracks. Tricycle gear. Fuel tray smell says a jet. Lots of footprints. 2 men and a woman. Waiting a while. Signs of a scuffle. Hemostat has that nurse's scent. What's her name? The one Madeline was flying with. Who do you think is talking here?
It's Psylocke.
Oh, it is still, yeah. Without the color, I mean, I can look at their haircuts and distinguish. Okay, Allie's got her short hair kind of again, and you know, then Havoc is the one who's like by default. Because Colossus, right? In case you haven't been keeping up, Colossus is not really changing back to his Peter persona. It's requiring all the effort for him to change. So his default is to be in his organic steel state, which is kind of interesting too. Mm-hmm. Jenny Ransom. That's the one. Thanks, Psylocke. She and Madeline got dragged aboard the jet. Then it was Wilder Blue Yonder time.
Okay. At least I got this monster to work. These computers must like Madeline more than me. They jump through hoops for her. Well, Alex, she certainly spends enough time down here playing with them.
It's her way, Dazzler. Even though she's not a mutant and doesn't have any powers and never will be and never be any character of importance, of pulling her weight with the team. Down, boy, down. No need to be so defensive. Allie didn't mean anything nasty.
That's for sure. I like how there's like the projection of Australia on the wall. Like, it's always interesting to see how the art team conceives of these things that are holograms or light casts, or I'm going to just say the word special effects. Like, to do special effects in line art and color is always an interesting problem to solve. And boy, oh boy, does the generation like around these guys elevate, like the Arthur Adams and Jim Lee types. Like, they just do the holographic imaging in line art so amazingly well and so inventive. Yeah, I'm not surprised Rick Leonardi's is just okay.
Mm-hmm. Didn't realize I was so touchy where Madeline was concerned.
Oh.
Tell Storm I have a radar contact outbound from her position. Psylocke on course for Sydney. Nobody else even remotely close by. Could be our boys.
Then let's go get him. Still, no voice for Longshot. Like, he just doesn't. He does not have a role. Like, he's, here he's got this next line on the next page, and he is, kind of first through the portal and springing. And yeah, that would have been Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
And Nightcrawler might have said something kind of jovial, but with this guy, it always comes across as naive.
Yes.
It's never, I've seen hard things in life and I've chosen to be positive and bring levity. It's just, I don't know any better. I'm kind of a dummy. So, Sydney International Airport, dusk. We came as soon as you called, Storm. Boy, this is fun.
You speak for yourself, Longshot. Teleporting's for Star Trek, not for me. I brought your costumes, guys.
Weird. Madeline's and Jenny's scents are old, but the other three comparatively fresh. As though they all got on the plane together. And then our two gals vanished. Or as I like to say, vanished.
Ooh.
And here's Storm, like, putting on her outfit. Like, she's doing her rings or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or cracking her knuckles. Neat. That squares with Psylocke's inability to Psylink with them, and Havoc's to pick them up on his scanners. But Storm, where'd they go? Later that night, Kidnapper's trail leads into town.
Wow, we jogging.
Can't follow scent from the sky, darling. We got no other way to track him.
Yes, me, Wolvie. We should have nailed him in the air.
Too risky. Till we know what we're up against. Someone threw that plane away, Rogue. And they had shields against Betsy's long-range side probes. That means super beings. Shoot! Just our flaming luck. A hospital. Wolverine loves killing kids at a hospital.
It's like his favorite thing.
It is. I mean, I don't want to go so far as to say it's his kink, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After donning appropriate disguises, where Rogue is a nurse and Wolverine is a leper.
A leper who goes to pediatrics. He's Wolvie, we can't start a fight here.
You can't tell me what to do.
I'm a
I
leper.
gotta fight who I gotta fight. Preemies are my thing. I know, girl. I remember San Francisco. But this is where the trail leads.
Pediatrics? What do these creeps want with babies? Man, we wrecked that hospital in San Fran fighting the marauders. It was a miracle no patients died. I don't want to push our luck here. I'm sorry. This is a restricted area.
Don't bother me none, babe.
Wolvie!
She's a bad guy, darling. The one who trashed Mata. Oh!
My hand. His jaw like I hit steel. Actually, sugar, it's way harder than that. No problem. I flattened him. I'll do likewise to you. Uh-huh. I'm afraid you won't.
And with that touch, all Punch-Out's power and psyche, the totality of the Genoshan's being flow out of her?
I feel like we need to rename this character just Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Full name, MT Punch-Out.
And into Rogue.
Whoops. Seems to happen to me every issue. I'm growing a match her physique. Her partner's in that room. Wolvie, they're stealing a baby.
Not if I can help it.
We have a problem, Pipeline.
Already on it, Hawk. Switching to mainframe storage. Now, I got to just say on behalf of G.I. Joe, there's a guy named Hawk and a guy named Mainframe.
Who?
Nice.
Wow.
Foreshadow.
Wow.
He's got to be good to get past Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But this should... I hit him, but he didn't fall.
Takes more than a gun to punch my ticket, bub. Can you say the same about my claws? I
Release
love
it.
the way the guy is posed with Wolverine's hand. His
Yeah.
throat. Like that shoulder up high, like, and he's got I guess it's a Mac 10 Ingram, or is it an Uzi? I can't tell. I think it's the Mac 10.
I don't know.
Well, there's a piece on it that makes me think it's the Mac 10, but I'm not sure. Often these guys, when they draw guns, they take liberties, and they don't want to be held to any kind of detailed, accountability with people telling them what guns they have. But it's a handheld machine gun either way, it's semi-automatic. Right. But yeah, great pose. I would love to see just Wolverine put one between that guy's eyes. Obviously, he wants to learn more, but
I do love that. I hit him. It takes more than me to punch Mike. He's just guy goes right out from the gun, and he's going right out, right back.
Totally. Release him, Gene Joke, or suffer the consequences. Dude popped out of thin air. One of this crowd must be a teleporter. I don't take kindly to threats, bub.
Hey, don't just stand there, Twit. Nail him.
Any more than I do to stormtroopers.
Appears I made my entrance in the proverbial nick of...
So on the ground is your dude, Hawk.
Pipeline, another one. Both invisible to my power, same as the girl.
Yo!
Wow.
Thanks, Magistrate. That takes care of that. Now let's evac while we...
No way, partner. MT Punch-Out's missing. We don't leave without her. Those two super beings may not be alone. So key into the mainframe and whistle up whatever force we need to get her back. Fantastic, Pipeline. You're a wizard.
The best. And don't you forget it. And by the way, back to G.I. Joe, there's also a Joe named Whistle Up and a G.I. Joe named A Wizard.
A wizard. You know what though? We've seen Rogue and Wolverine go on a couple of missions before, and I just want to see more of it.
Oh, that's the team up that I love.
The dynamic.
I mean, we've talked a couple times back when they first went on that mission. They were in Japan and they were going to figure out stuff. Like there was a vibe there. They definitely have a good chemistry. They've been teammates for a few years. We also talked about wanting to see a Wolverine Storm crossing the country in a car or hitchhiking or whatever, but like across country, a hard traveling heroes kind of team up with those two. There's lots of good. He just is such a good film noir, pulpy partner for anybody.
Oh yeah,
and obviously works great with female characters. So,
well, it's the same thing too with he teams up like his archetype teams up so well with almost like him and Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's very true. Michael raises a good question. And I'm sure there's an obvious answer to this, Michael, that we just haven't considered because we're not nearly as smart as the comic. But Michael says, how do the soldiers come through with their uniforms? And the answer is that it's part of the binary.
Their headsets.
Yeah, it's part of the thing.
Let's say it's their headsets.
We're going to say unstable molecules.
Unstable molecules. Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, outside, I've lost contact with Rogue and Wolverine. They've been attacked. They're unconscious.
Those two?
Cripes, who they run into? The Hulk?
Multiple mental contacts, hostiles, in and around the hospital. Our quarry somehow summoned reinforcements with clothes on, literally from nowhere. They're hunting for us.
I say go Colossus. It's about time.
No, he wouldn't say Psylocke. Is that Longshot?
No, there's a line before that.
Oh, you're right. So what else is new?
And this might be... It's Dazzler?
Psylocke, is that them?
They're shooting!
Nice bunch of guys. Not even a howdy do or anything. Behind me, comrades. Use my armored body as a shield. The heck with that, Colossus. How about we put these creeps out of business?
So I love... Okay, yeah. Psylocke, right away, you see her body language. She's got one arm up in front of her face. She's like about to move behind Colossus. Storm is breaking for the sky right away. That's cool. And I love the graphic nature of... And by this, I mean graphic design nature of Havoc's costume in this moment, because he's just pure black, you know?
Yeah.
So having him as a design element on the page, he really like separates himself from the other characters nicely. But I like what's about to happen. I think there's a
Dazzler, use finger gun. Before someone gets hurt, your courage does you credit, Ellison. You kidding? I'm scared stiff. But if it's them or me, better them every time.
I love them like this as a move. Like you create a blinding flare, and then I run at them like a goddamn juggernaut.
Yeah.
And the glowing X on his belt, I like that. It's reminiscent also of like the Giant Size #1 pose that he kind of has.
Right.
Bursting through. I like that one. This is like a better image for the cover than the one on the cover. Even the guns are pointing at him. Like if it had been the light coming from behind and them all running forward, Arthur Adams would have nailed that cover. Instead, it feels like we got the frame just before where they're all like, and caught off guard, and then they go into action. But this is what would have come right after it. And I'm a huge fan of like high contrast art and rim lighting and all that kind of stuff. And so like double lights. So I want to see this as the cover instead. That would have made me really happy. Anyway, she strobes, flashing a light so intense. The magistrates are dazzle blinded, even with their eyes closed. And of course, by the time their vision clears, it's too late.
Finger gun.
At the same time, not far away.
That stinking fog. Never seen someone so thick.
Is that you? Stay sharp, team. The muties don't register on our scanners. Psylocke! I hear you, Storm. Lure these troops away from the hospital. We cannot confront them here. They are too heavily armed. There is too much risk to innocent bystanders. Will do. Come on, Havoc. Time for some gratuitous heroics.
Oh.
Cicada Sonic says Claremont could do that as part of his ongoing series of untold stories from the Copper Age that he's been doing the last few years. Logan and Aurora, On the Road to Nowhere Fast. Oh, yeah, man. Though I would rather we wrote it. But anyway.
One day.
Now, this is Storm giving instructions here.
Yeah.
Also, scan their thoughts to learn. I've been trying, Storm, but they're shielded against telepathic scans.
There!
Sarge, is this right? Suppose they're the local equivalent of us magistrates.
We have our orders, Trooper. That's all that matters.
They may be protected from my probes, but they're still vulnerable to my influence, ignoring us in favor of the illusions I'm casting into their minds.
If they've hurt Madeline, I may not be so careful about where I place my plasma beam.
Oh, tell me where.
Crotch shot, crotch shot, crotch shot, crotch shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
He isn't joking. He's angry enough to kill. A pitched battle, not quite what I envisioned for our debut as local heroes. The soldiers are falling back toward Woolamulu? Woolamulu Bay. Wow, that's a thing. Woolamulu Bay. Merciful goddess! Could they represent the Australian government? But then, why kidnap people? Yeah, why indeed? Why would a government do that? Where do they come from? What do they want? Who are they?
Yes.
Costume color check.
Yeah.
What color is Storm's costume?
Black.
All right, still reading as black. 235.
Okay.
Eventually, it's going to change.
It will. Yeah. Squad scattered all over the place.
I hate these overseas ops. Locals never understand our purpose.
Yeah, well, ain't hard to understand. How'd we feel if some outsider did the same to Genosha? Okay, do you think it's a misprint? Good old Genosha.
Genosha.
I'm gonna say it's a typo,
Okay.
but I want to call it Genosha once in a while.
Once in a while.
Peekaboo, I see you.
Huh?
Who said that?
We did.
Sweet Mother of Mercy!
Now, do you have to say peekaboo at all? Like they're standing there.
No.
Getting them to turn doesn't actually help Colossus destroy them in any way.
No, I do like the he doesn't. I mean the sound effect Crom. Too bad he didn't say by Crom.
True.
That'd be better.
I would like to see him also break their necks.
Oh well, sure, yeah,
Like now he's got a taste for it, right?
exactly.
Like Colossus, how many necks did you break today? 63.
It goes.
We only fought 12 bad guys. Hey, I got hankering.
I re-broke them. I fixed them and then I re-broke them.
Hey, twist right, I twist left.
Exactly.
Break. So good. Crunchy sound. Watcher!
Told you, Reg, some kind of rumpus on Captain Cook's graving dock.
Think we should lend a hand?
Too right, mate.
Well, which side?
Let down your weapons, villains.
We're no villains, Gene Joke. We're magistrates. We're the law.
Cripe, civilians? Push him away. Get them away from here, my friends, at once.
Hit the bricks, trooper. I'll cover you. Most grenades have 7-second fuses. But the fact is, once the pin's pulled, they can blow up any time. Longshot doesn't consider that. He trusts to his miraculous luck and moves like the blazes, as does Dazzler.
Flatten all of you on the ground now.
The bad guys have more guns. Do they mean to shoot us while our backs are turned? Realization and response are instantaneous.
Ow, my hand!
He spiked the pistol. And after the weapons, he deals with the men. They didn't care who they hurt.
So long as they got us, like Havoc said, nice bunch of fellas. The greater the danger, longer this lasts, the greater the danger of that happening.
Like Colossus just takes the explosion.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Yeah.
Put it between his hands. No problem.
And we get this.
Yeah, didn't expect it. Didn't feel it coming. But it's welcome, you know.
It is.
I wonder if this also was like an alternative for the cover.
Right.
But probably not. But it's yeah, for whatever reason, it's welcome.
Right. Then, comrades, let us end this battle once and for all. Colossus leading the charge. Like it.
Meanwhile,
This is
Sirens.
I think it's the pipeline dude first.
Yeah, you're right.
Sirens, local law. Sounds like they call it the whole force.
Wouldn't you, under the circumstances? Sounds like World War III down by the bay. Wonder who's winning.
Our guys, the magistrates. Who else?
Yeah, who else indeed?
Hawkshaw, what are you doing? We shouldn't be out of here. Sorry, we should be out of here. You want to get us caught?
Relax, Pipeline. Now that MT Punch-Out's back on her feet, we won't get caught. There's just something I want to check on first.
That couple we blasted?
They dead? Should be, considering how hard they were hit. But they're alive. I'm glad. I don't know what this babe did to me, but I plan a payback she'll never forget. If she survives. Actually, I have a better idea.
What's so special?
They have powers, for one thing. They could be mutants. More importantly, they've cloaked against both my power and any of our scanners. I figure the Gene Engineer will want to examine them and probably add them to the gene pool. Pipe, the girl's waking up.
No problem. I'll insert a sedative subroutine into the transmission program. She'll be fast asleep when she arrives. Circuit links established. Pipelines open. Subjects on our way. Pew!
Over the internet. Yeah.
Later.
Oh, here's a saw and a half.
Gonna be a treat cutting this lot loose, Mick.
Too right. Half of Sydney's panicked by these Mad Max fireworks, and then by the time we arrive and sort things out, somebody's beat us to it. I suppose we should be grateful.
Looks like our good Samaritans left a calling card, too.
What do you think, Mick? Yas got its own team of super blokes.
Could be, Reg. Wonder if that's good news or bad. Now, obviously, we got a guy named Mick Dundee. That's hilarious. Right. Inspector Dundee? The stowaway baby from the Qantas flight.
Yeah, I found something else here, Mick. He's vanished.
You got any explanations, mate?
I'll tell you nothing.
The electronics gear, pretty sophisticated. Smashed to bits.
Send it to the left analysis. So I see you cops are now do chum. Because it strikes me your silence might cost your bosses a whole lot more than they bargained for.
Keep it going.
You're involved in the kidnapping, I'll stake my badge on that. If you weren't, you'd be cooperating like crazy to prove it, which means I bet whoever nailed you is probably after the baby and them. And when they catch them, I hope them heroes give it everything they deserve.
Next, bustin' loose.
Bustin' loose. Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Oof.
Sorry, Australia.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I block that apology on your behalf.
Okay.
And bounce it back to you. We're not apologizing for nothing. This is exactly how you sound, Australia.
This is exactly what. If there's anything out there.
And nothing would make me happier than if there was like an Australian counterpart to our show.
Oh God, that'd be so good.
A couple of Aussies or Kiwis or whoever.
Yeah, yes.
Doing an X-Men show, and whenever they had to do Wolverine or any other Canadian character, just doing their very best, and hopefully they're not very skilled. So it was great. It was just great. That'd be so much fun.
Perfect. That'd be.
I did not read through these letters. There was something that caught me at quick glance. I just looked at the names, where they're from, and I did not go through them anymore. But I like when people call them like X dudes, dear X dudes. But yeah, I'm not. Oh yeah, Morgan C's got it. There you go. Aussie's covering Alpha Flight. Beautiful. Beautiful. Matt says this Outback era reading is so much fun. Yeah, I like this issue a lot. It has all the things I'm looking for. Some action and some craziness and all that good stuff. I do love that there's a Crocodile Dundee reference in it. And for those who were not sentient yet in 1988,
you don't understand what a phenomenon Crocodile Dundee and the sequel, Crocodile Dundee 2, were at the time, and there was such an Australian craze. And just to provide a little bit of context to those people born, of the internet age, there weren't as many choices for things to consume your media dollar or media time. So that means that everything that we watched and read and listened to, more people of the population were listening to the same thing. We weren't as divided across. I mean, right now, you and I can be watching completely different shows and never even have heard of the other ones. When I was young, there were essentially 20 channels or 25 channels. So you kind of knew everything that was on, and we're all watching the same three things. So it means that everyone at the time saw Crocodile Dundee.
Of course.
And it was just pervasive. So, it was a phenomenon of its own. And I think about it often. There was in Crocodile Dundee 2, when they go back to Australia, there was a certain melancholic element to the soundtrack where every time that they would look off into nature, there was a calling for the Australian outback, and it resonated in my soul as a 12, 13-year-old, whatever. David Cutler, how you doing, man? Exy boys, I'm late. Hope it was a good issue. I think it was.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah. Devin Knight says, well, Wolverine had an Aussie accent in a few early 80s cartoons. Yes, he did. And I looked into it as to why that happened, and it simply was that they wanted to have a more sonically diverse team at the time, as that was this kind of international group. You had, a German, a Russian, an African broad, she's Kenyan, but they weren't necessarily going for a Kenyan accent. And I see that in there, Michael. We'll get to that in a second. Because I really want to play Knifey Spoonie. So having Wolverine as an Aussie, it made sense for the show. They wanted to have that diversity of accents on the cartoon. And then, of course, ironically, he gets played by an Aussie in the movies too. So that was kind of a fun thing. On his one appearance in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, he's Aussie. On Pride of the X-Men, the pilot for a show that never launched, he's Aussie. And then, of course, in our hearts, he's Aussie forever as Hugh Jackman. So, yeah, there was that famous, put another shrimp on the Barbie. Exactly. You call that a knife? That ain't a knife. This is a knife.
Nice knife, mate.
And the Simpsons did the best riff on that, where the guy, he says, that ain't a knife. This is a knife. And he pulls out a spoon. And Marge, I think, says, or was it Lisa? It says, that's not a knife. That's a spoon. And he says, I see you've played Knifey Spoonie before. It's just, oh my God. Yeah. Chaz Wazzers.
Bullfrogs? That's no name. I'd call them Jazzwazzles.
It's so many funny things from
that episode. That episode is a solid back to front.
Oh yeah.
The toilet goes wrong in a different direction, and the American Embassy has fixed that. They had a whole machine just to make sure the toilet they're crying. It's
as a patriotic thing to see the toilet go. Yeah. And then I also love the Prime Minister.
Oh,
the little kid goes down the block or whatever, yells at the next house.
He's like, I'm gonna call my Prime Minister. Hey Andy! And he's in an inner tube. What's to do, mate? He's got a beer.
It's so funny. Yeah, and of course it's not really meant as a slag at Aussies. It's always with the Simpsons. This is how little the American people know about this other culture. That this is kind of not too far off from where they're at. So it was amazing. Knifey Spoonie is just still it comes up. I honestly I can't set the table and go and get knives and spoons and things without making the Knifey Spoonie joke with my daughter. It is too funny.
It's great.
It's transcended the show. It's part of daily life. Mass says, try not to laugh out loud and wake up the boys. Shh.
Don't reduce.
Hey, don't wake them up. Don't reduce. Yeah, it's so good. Moving on.
Sure.
The next issue obviously is a follow-up to this one.
Right.
I mean, we got to see what happens. I want to know: do Wolverine and Rogue have clothes?
That's the number one question in all our minds.
It is. So let's talk about Genosha for a minute. Outside of this issue, do you remember Genosha in anything else you've come across? Did you know Genosha before you started reading this run with me?
Yeah, like from the animated series.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, from the original, then I get from X-Men 97.
Okay, so on that, and I'm not going to name episodes today because I didn't do any research and I don't want to, and someone else might know. But that is the storyline in X-Men the animated series where you get to see like North Star and Sunfire and Cable the first time, and there basically is this slave nation using mutants in costume and their power set to build like a dam and
infrastructure
like
and stuff.
Build infrastructure for their nation. And Cable is there as like out in the wild, knocking out their military as a way to free slaves and such. It was an interesting, different interpretation of them. Genosha's like showed up in, I believe, Wolverine and the X-Men, that cartoon, when Wolverine goes on his like quest to find all the X-Men. Like Genosha is a fully existing island with like futuristic technology. Which episode was this, please?
Second season, first season?
I don't know. I mean, I hope you're teasing me. But if I have to, I will open up Disney Plus and scroll through until I find it. Cable's the wild man of Borneo. Yeah, he's like this in that episode, like this kind of fabled threat. You know, they don't want to like even acknowledge that he's there because, you know, he's such a problem. David says it's in first season. So they have a version of Genosha in the animated series, which might be what we eventually get to here. We don't know what Genosha is yet. So I don't... Oh, really? You have never watched the animated series? Okay. So you were being sincere. I'm sorry for being a little dismissive. I thought you were just teasing me. It is, again, I don't know your frame of reference, Skatasonic, but let's just say if you love X-Men and you're willing to put up with some dated animation and dated performances and such, it's fun. But, you know, X-Men 97 is much more contemporary and palatable. I don't know. I mean, depending on your taste in things. Chris, you like binged all 5 seasons last year, did you not?
Did.
And did you go gray or?
You can see through walls by the end of it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know, give the first 3 episodes. I think the opening is a 3-parter, where you introduce Jubilee and Sentinels and all that stuff, and give it a shot.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of episodes. It is definitely a lot. 5 seasons, and the 5th one is like a different animation studio, and it's turd-tastic for sure. So we see Genosha in that animated series. We see it in Wolverine and the X-Men. I don't remember if it makes an appearance in X-Men Evolution. I'm starting to watch that one again with my daughter now, but I don't know if I ever finished that series. I also don't think the series ever finished, so we'll get there. Is it ever in the movies?
What about that like colony type?
Right.
Place, that Magneto. It's in Age of Apocalypse, I think. Right.
Right. Basically, it was somewhere, an island off the coast of BC.
Right, where they grow their own food.
Right. So I think it was called Genosha, or referred to maybe in premise only, but the idea is that it's a mutant haven.
Yeah.
So we're being introduced to it here as being a mutant enslaved population. And then in that version, we're getting told it's a mutant haven. In X-Men 97, of course, it was a mutant paradise that turns into hell with an extinction event. And that's what we got in the new X-Men under Grant Morrison as well. So it is one of those newer inventions kind of later in this run that is part of every version of X-Men moving forward. You know what I mean? We haven't seen like a thing come into X-Men and for a little while. It's like, no, it's forever part of the mythology, but this is one of those things that, like, it as a concept, the idea of both a paradise and a hell of sorts, it really resonates and works well for writers and creators forever. So it's a neat one to see the first appearance of Genosha. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, very neat. All right, bud. Want to call it? Is that it?
I think so.
All right, I'm thirsty.
I think so. And next, okay, I know we haven't chatted. Next Tuesday is Canada Day. So I don't know what.
Well,
figure something because you're in Newmarket for a bit.
yeah, in the daytime.
May 10. Okay.
If you want to do a pre-record on the Monday, that's fine with me. Are you taking a 4-day weekend?
I am taking a 4-day weekend. Yeah.
So I'm around the Monday if you want to do it then.
Okay.
We can pre-record and drop it Tuesday night anyway. But we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to be free to party on your nation's birthday.
Yeah.
It's not the birthday. It's just a holiday. It's good. All right, cool. So that brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you to my good buddy, writer of Group of Seven, A Most Secret Tale, and Peregrine's Flight, Fiends, and Fisticuffs, Chris Sanigan. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Jason.
Oh, my pleasure, as you can tell. You can find out more about our comics and upcoming appearances at group-of-7comics.ca. Follow us on Group of Seven at Group of Seven Comics on social media. Please click like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with us your take on this issue, this beautiful, beautiful issue, most beautiful issue ever made, or any X-Men comics in the comments section below. Go dig out your old back issues, trade paperbacks, essentials, omnibuses, DVD-ROMs, or hop on an app and read along with us next week on Previously in X-Men. Thank you, and stay Xy, Bob. Is that it?
Possibly.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Get cool. Let's stay cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I'm going to end the stream. Good night.